at this time. So, in fact, our country is going through a very difficult phase in the independent Indian history. So, I would like to introduce myself that I am Jayaraj, practicing a lawyer for the last 36 years in the High Court of AP and also Kurnool district. And I have been in the thick of our community service right from my student days. As my learned friend just now was saying, during the lockdown period, very dangerous trend has been set in, especially from the judiciary point of view. The constitution is under severe stress. The fundamental rights of the people are under severe stress. And the judgments which we are receiving from the higher judiciary is really disturbing. In the recent 2 months, today I would like to share my views on 2 important judgments. One is, as my learned friend pointed out, that the Supreme Court judgment which it was given, I think I cannot speak Hindi. I will be speaking only in English. Please kindly excuse me. I can understand Hindi, but I can't reply. Okay? Okay. As we have seen, on 22/4/2020, the 5-judge bench of the Supreme Court has questioned the GO MS number 3/2000 of erstwhile Andhra Pradesh government, the combined state of AP, providing 100% reservations to the scheduled tribes in the notified scheduled areas on the appeals filed by the aggrieved parties. But the thing is, the issue involved in that judgment is whether the GOMS number 3/2000 issued by in the name of Governor of Andhra Pradesh exercising power under Class 5 of Schedule 5 of the Constitution of India, and whether they are in conformity with the Article 371D of the Constitution of India, which enables the President to notify a particular area as scheduled area, and so that the government may take, because in the scheduled areas mostly the Adivasis are residing, to give a special impetus to the socio and economic development of the section of these people, that Article 371D has given the power to the President to notify, and there are various clauses in Article 371D with regard to the education, employment and other things. Now, instead of whether this GOMS number 3 is unconstitutional or otherwise, in that judgment, very sweeping findings or remarks were made by the Honorable Justice Arun Mishra. We must see the composition of with due respect to the higher judiciary. Since 6 years, we have been seeing the developments as to what is happening in the higher judiciary, and we have tasted the judgment of March 20th, 2018, which totally diluted the SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act. And the man who delivered the judgment was given promotion immediately after the retirement as chairman of the National Green Tribunal. We have also seen some of the judges immediately after the retirement. One of them was appointed as Kerala governor. And another latest and recent one, who, while holding that the demolition of Babri Masjid is really illegal, unwarranted, and it is an offence, and at the same time he has given away the land and he got Rajya Sabha membership. We have seen all this stuff. And in the meantime, during this lockdown period, not only this 22/4/2020 judgment, another important judgment which affects our constitutional rights as guaranteed under Article 15 and 16 of the Constitution, the judgment that one the dated February 7th, 2020. Yeah. This is 22nd April. Now I would like to share my views on two judgments which are interlinked with Article 50 and 16.4. So on 7 February 2020, two judge bench of the Constitutional Court of Supreme Court of India has set aside the order of the Uttarakhand High Court, where High Court has given direction to the state of Uttarakhand by quashing its GO which stated that the government is not required to provide reservations in the public in the course of employment and also in the promotions. But the Uttarakhand High Court, while setting aside that GO, directed the state government to follow the principle laid down in Indira Sawhney case 2006, where the state governments were asked to first assess collect the quantifiable data to show that these sections of people are not properly represented in the employment sector, and also they are not having the benefit of the promotions in the higher posts. So while dealing with that case, they have differently interpreted Article 15.4 and also 16.4. Now, before going to the subject proper, I would like to briefly tell you that why these reservations are necessary and how these reservations came into existence. As we are all of us know, because all of us belong to the same sections of the society, having experienced the trouble of being born in these downtrodden communities, as all of us knows well that this system of reservations, the concept of reservations, was necessitated because of the Indian societal system, which was based on Manusmriti and which created Varnashrama Dharma. Are you hearing me? Are you able to hear me? All of you? Yes. So this Varnashrama Dharma created the vicious caste system. And this caste system is the basis. As all of us know well, the Manadharma Shastra says that there are 4 classes of human beings who were born to the Creator, Brahma. One was born from head, and another one from chest, and another one from waist, and the 4th Varna was born from feet. So these people are called Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudras. And there are other sections of people which are even outside this categories, classes of people, and they are called Panchamas. They are called untouchables. And these untouchables were kept out of the social system of this Hindu society. And they were made to do the menial jobs, attend the menial jobs, and without having any social contact with the other 4 groups. So even the Shudras were not communicating or having any social contact with the Panchamas or untouchables. So these people were denied of the opportunities, and they were kept out of the society and kept out of all the productive activities, and they were used as tools in furthering the interests of the above sections of the people. And so this was because they are suppressed for ages. Historically, they were suppressed and they were subjected to untouchability and also social discrimination, and they were never allowed to have a share in the helpful activity of the Hindu society. So when the matter stands thus, the question of reservations were mooted. Firstly, I think according to my knowledge, it was firstly mooted by the caste-based reservations by Mahatma Jyotirao Phule in 1883 or 80 during that period. Jyotirao Phule, but that could not take forward. And after attaining independence, after attaining, and another effort was made in the year 1932 to provide reservations to the depressed classes, suppressed classes who have been subjected to humiliation, insult and caste discrimination for centuries together due to the efforts of our Baba Sahib Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, who prevailed upon the British government which was ruling then our country to provide reservations, to have a representation, a real representation to these classes in the governing class. So, communal award, that's what we call, Ramsay MacDonald announced communal award. That is the first instance of providing reservations to the oppressed classes. So, this communal award was pronounced, and as per the communal award, we, Dalits and Adivasis, were given a separate electorate. Reservations separate, providing separate constituencies, electorates, in order to enable us to elect our own people, representing and reflecting our aspirations and representing our interest in the elected bodies. So that communal award was passed, and we know the history, because just I am only reminding you how the question of reservations came into being. So when communal award was announced, providing reservations not only Dalits and minorities, and then the issue came up, as all of you know well, Mahatma Gandhi, then leading the movement and also the Congress, he went on fast unto death. Went on fast unto death, opposing separate electorate to scheduled caste people, Adivasis, stating that they will go out of the clutches of Hindu caste system. And because of then prevailing circumstances, Baba Sahib Ambedkar, against his will, was forced to, at the instance, because all the people were pressurizing him, and because he held the view that when there is a conflict between community and nation, he chose a nation. He publicly declared that nation matters to me first, then my community. So we were forced to sacrifice our legitimate right of representation in the elected bodies in order to save the life of Mahatma Gandhi in 1932, and that was culminated in Pune Pact. So we have given up our political right, our separate electorate. So this was called, had communal award been implemented, we would have got two votes. One is to elect a general representative, and another is exclusively to elect our own representative who can represent our views and aspirations in the elected bodies. So, in order to save the nation, we have compromised, and within the system, certain seats were reserved for scheduled caste and Adivasis. Within the Hindu system, they should not go out of this Hindu system. So, that was a compromise which was made in the interest of the nation, but at the huge cost of the community. We have seen for the last 70 years, 1950 to 2020, the political representations, how they are being, how they are acting, and in fact they have become nominal. There are no effective representative in the legislative bodies on behalf of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. They can't represent, because from a general constituency, one constituency is reserved for SCs and STs. So not only Dalits votes, everybody votes. Then he can't represent. And moreover, he is coming on behalf of a particular party. So naturally he will act on behalf of the party, not on behalf of Dalits. So we are having now a notional representation, a nominal representation, not an effective representation in the legislative bodies. That is this. So that was the first occasion the reservation system was introduced in India. Then after attaining independence, thanks to Baba Sahib Ambedkar, because he was given the great responsibility of giving constitution to this country, and he has, we all know how he made efforts and how he sacrificed his health and life, to give a future to this democratic India. And he prepared the constitution and drafted constitution, and rightly called as father of Indian constitution. And he, having suffered and having fought for our cause for many years, and he know how to protect our interests, and he has formulated and given certain constitutional safeguards, and particularly from Article 14 to 17. Article 14 to 17 are very relevant articles, and for the purpose of our discussion as well. And as you know well, the 17, Article 17, officially the untouchability or social discrimination in any form was officially abolished from 26th January 1950. So Article 17. Then Article 15 and 16. As all of you know well, Article 15 and 16, Article 15 speaks about the equality before. I would like to read for this one. So Article 15, the state shall not discriminate against any citizen on the grounds of only religion, race, caste, sex or place or birth. The state shall not discriminate against any on the grounds of only religion, race, caste, sex, place of birth, and so there is no discrimination. There shall not be any discrimination. But however, there are certain people who are at a disadvantaged position and who are subjected to many atrocities, hardships, and without having any role in the societal activities, and that people who are called scheduled caste and scheduled tribe. But this Article 15, especially Article 4, Clause 4, says nothing in this article in Clause 2 or Article 29 shall prevent the state from making any special provision for the advancement of any socially and educationally backward classes. Here, the criteria of economic status is not mentioned. Mind you, and note this one. Art 15.4 is exclusively designed to meet the interests of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So here mentioned socially and educationally backward classes of citizens for the scheduled or for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. This is originally 1949 Constitution. Original 1949 Constitution. And another clause 5 there. Nothing in this article or subclass G or clause 1 of Article 19 shall prevent the state from making any special provision by law or for the advancement of any socially and educationally backward classes of citizens or for scheduled castes or scheduled tribes, insofar as such special provisions relate to the admission into educational institutions, including private educational institutions, that means aided or unaided schools. So every care has been taken to safeguard the interests of the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and make them to come up in life, and then make them to come up in life in order to make them to come on par with the other sections of the society, coming out of the social stigma attached to the caste. The social stigma attached to the caste. So that was there. And then Article 16. Article 16, I would like to read for you. There shall be equality of opportunity for all the citizens in matters of relating to employment or appointment to any office under the state. So, but this also is a general rule. It also has got exception, because there are exceptions there. And there again, Article 16, 4, subclause, nothing in this article shall prevent the state from making any provision for the reservations of appointments or posts in favor of any backward class of citizens. Here for the first time, the word backward classes, there socially and educationally backward classes. You must make the note of this distinction. Any provision for the reservations of appointments or in favor of backward class citizens, which in the opinion of the state is not adequately represented in the services under the state. There 15.4 is mandatory, and 16.4 subject to the satisfaction of the state that these particular category of people are not duly, the interests of these people are not duly represented in the respective departments in case of government employment. And then subsequently, after Indira Sahani case and also Rajendran case, there are Supreme Court judgment. The Constitution was also amended and clause 16(4)(a) was also introduced. What this clause 16(4)(a)? Nothing in this Article 16 shall prevent the state from making any provision for reservations in the matters of promotion with consequential seniority to any class or classes of posts in the services under the states in favor of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes in the opinion of the states, or that they are not adequately represented in the services under the state. So these are the clauses with which we are concerned now at present for our subject of discussion. Now, during the course of implementation of these constitutional provisions, we have seen progressive decisions enlarging the scope of Article 15, Article 16(4), and some judgments say Article 16(4)(a) is exception to the Article 16 Clause 1. What is Article 16 Clause 1? Equal opportunity in the matters of employment in government services. But there are exceptions and special provisions were made to disadvantaged group of these people. So till Mandal Commission report came, only scheduled caste and scheduled tribes were being given the shelter or the protection of constitutional safeguards in the matters of reservations. Then Mandal Commission report came, and in fact there was a decision by the Supreme Court that the BCs cannot be given, the scheduled Sudras cannot be given reservations as per the Constitution. Then the Article 16(4) Article 16 was amended to make room to implement the Mandal Commission's recommendations providing reservations to the OBCs also. So OBCs also came into the ambit of reservations. Now we have seen what happened in the year 2019. 2019, after this present government coming into power, several forward castes in different states started demanding reservations in the public employment. And consequently, in the year 2019, a constitutional amendment was brought in providing 10% reservations to the forward class people in the public employment and other allied services. So the ceiling was in Sahani case and Rajendran and other judgments Supreme Court was what Supreme Court said, that there should be a ceiling and reservations should not cross 50%. But at the same time, there were some exceptions were given. When the exceptions were brought into picture, when these reservations for OBCs, the question of reservations for OBCs came into picture, then the interpretation of these particular clauses started changing. Now, with regard to these two judgments, now I will come to the judgment of ST reservations 100%. 100% reservations were provided by GOMS number 2000. It was a GO of 2000, not now, almost 20 years. And the Supreme Court said, the 5-judge bench headed by Arun Mishra said that it is totally irrational, totally unreasonable, and so many words were used. Now in this particular case, Okay. So we are taking break. Okay. Okay. Okay, okay. Now coming to this judgment, Chebrolu Leela Prasad Rao versus State of Andhra Pradesh, dated 22nd April 2020. The judgment, the question before the court was whether the GOMS number 3/2020 issued by governor exercising powers under Article 5 of the Constitution is constitutionally valid or not. But unfortunately, of course, what the Supreme Court is going was holding about or opinion about this GOMS number, but unfortunately, it has gone into deep into the question. Article 371D, and what the court said in this, it says that 100% reservations in respect of appointment to the post of the teachers in scheduled areas is irrational, and it is unconstitutional and not permitted under law. But one thing is we should note it, there are conflicting views in the same judgment. I would like to advert your attention to the judgments in para number 116. Para number 116 of this judgment, the court said, the Justice Misra said that reservations should not exceed 50%. However, even going by the earlier judgments, little relaxation is permissible with great care. Reservation is an exception to the general rule. The quantum of reservation should not be excessive and socially injurious. Okay. And according to him, Article 16(1), a mere cases yes, there are two important cases which we should keep in mind, in which the Supreme Court has given a clear picture of Article 16, Class 4. First is Indra Sane case, 1992. The scope and extent of the Article 16(4) was extensively discussed, and in fact, in that case, the Supreme Court also suggested to have a creamy layer which should be excluded from the benefits of reservations, but that does not extend to SCs and STs. Then the other case came in 2006. These are the two important cases on which the edifice of the subsequent developments or the interpretations of the Supreme Court have come into play. And Nagaraj versus Union of India, 2006. And this judgment upheld the constitutional amendment to the Article 16 by inserting subclass 4A, stating that providing special provisions for SCs, STs and other backward classes in the matter of reservations in promotions. But at the same time, with a rider, the judgment has come in. What are the riders? What are the factors that should be taken into consideration while dealing with this sort of cases? One is the SC/ST community should be socially and educationally backward. SC/ST communities are not adequately represented in the public employment. And this SC/ST reservation policy should not affect the overall efficiency of the administration. And another case in 2018, in the Supreme Court said, in Jarnal Singh versus Lakshminarayan Gupta, reservations in promotions does not require state to collect any quantifiable data on the backwardness of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. So as far as we are concerned, the law up to 2018 was very clear with regard to the employment and with regard to the promotions. But in the latest judgment, these two judgments, they have come as a blow to the very spirit of the Article 15 Class 4 and Article 16 Class 4 of the Indian Constitution. And these two judgments, they are interlinked. At once, as far as the present judgment is concerned, the ST's reservation judgment, there are two conflicting versions. On one hand, Justice Arun Mishra says that the reservations should not exceed 50%. However, there is a little relaxation permissible under given circumstances. Under given circumstances where the percentage of reservations can exceed 50%. And it is not in conflict with Article 16(1). That's what at one time in para number judgment, have you seen the judgment? Have you got any copy of it? In para number 116, he said. And then again para number 137 of the judgment, he says that the Article 16(4) is not exclusive from Article 16(1). They are all facets of equality. They are facets of equality as defined in the Indira Sawhney judgment. And the reservations of seats is an exception to the general rule. But it is an affirmative action. It is an affirmative action. So while saying that it's an affirmative action and it Article 16(1) and 16 clause 4 are facets of the same provision, how can the court say that in scheduled areas reserving the teacher post to this only to the scheduled tribes is against the law? Because these provisions were made as per Article 16(4). There is another thing if you say that no, because there is old legislation, old GO, and in fact this GO was struck down, earlier one GO was struck down by the administrative tribunal, and that was not, and appeal was also filed and appeal was withdrawn. Appeal was withdrawn by the AP government then. Again the GO was issued. While issuing GO, they should have made an effort to meet the requirements of Article 16(4). The thing is, now reservations are such. If you read the judgment, one conclusion that we can come to is that he is not worried about the provision of he is worried about 100% reservation. He is worried about 100% reservation. At one point he says, yes, law permits to give representation in special circumstances, reservation over and above 50%. And at the same time again says, no, this should not exceed 50%. So there are two conflicting versions in the judgment. Two conflicting versions. And the interpretation of Article 16(4) is also not in conformity with the spirit of the provisions of the Constitution. The lawmakers or the constitutional makers, what they have in mind is to bring up all these people on par with the other sections of the community. So the dilution of these reservations by different kind of interpretations, especially during this last 6 years, is really a shocking and also distressing. That should not have been done. What the Supreme Court can do in the circumstances of the present case is that governor has no power to issue such GO which comes into conflict with Article 371D of the Constitution, the presidential order, and that particular GO has to be passed by the legislature. By way of government GO, you can't, a subordinate legislation, you can't pass. That is also there in the findings. But the thing is why they unnecessarily dwelt with the subject of Article 16(4) and 16(4)A and making that these reservations cannot be lasted long, and there are other aggrieved parties also within the reservations. There are some sections of people who are being denied of the benefits of this reservation, and subcategorization is also required, and stating that this is 16(4) is only an exception. But the Indira Sawhney case and Rajendran case says 16(4) is not an exception. It is another facet of 16 clause 1 of the article of Constitution of India. So it's only an extension. Both cannot be distinct, divided separately. It has to be seen. It is 16(4)A, 4 and 4A is an extension of Article 16(1). The affirmative action, the affirmative approach by the state to enable the socially and educationally backward classes to come up along with, on par with the other sections of the society. So the judgment, instead of giving this finding on the constitutionality or otherwise of the GO passed by the Governor of Andhra Pradesh, there are two different, it applied two different tests and giving conflicting versions. When, according to my opinion, in my opinion, this without determining which one of them, he says that the order GO is irrational, giving 100% reservation in the scheduled areas in favor of scheduled tribes is irrational and not called for, is inequitable. But at the same time, some reasons must be assigned. How it is irrational? Whether it is in accordance with the Article 371 and Article 5 of the Constitution, Article 16(4) of the Constitution of India or not. One thing is clear: scheduled tribes were included and benefit of 16(4) were given as a class to the scheduled tribes. So there is no question of any constitutionality by giving 100% reservation in scheduled areas for the scheduled tribes. But the thing is, the court can say that that should not be there. There is one clause also. One clause, local candidate. Who is the local candidate? The GO says that the people who have been residing in scheduled areas since 1950 are alone will be treated as local candidate. But the 371 clause D says, no, any person who educate himself or studies in a school for a period of 4 years consecutively, he can be treated as a local candidate. You can say, if the court says, the judgment says that no, and giving 100% reservations to scheduled tribes is not constitutional and it is void, then you can say there is a meaning to say that the people who have been residing since 1950 there, 1950, say scheduled castes, say OBCs, who are residing in the same area and attained the status of a local candidate, then they can also be considered. So giving 100% reservations perhaps it seems to be the bone of contention of the Honorable Supreme Court. Had it been in proportionate to the population since 1950, the Honorable Court ought not to have passed such observations as far as the reservations, 100% reservation to the scheduled tribes in the scheduled area. But our concern is the interpretation of the enabling provisions. According to these people, the Supreme Court in the recent times now stating that Article 15(4) and Article 16 are only enabling provisions. They are not fundamental rights. Here, the crux of the issue lies. It is only enabling provision, and it is not mandatory on the part of the state to provide reservations for SCs and STs in the matter of public employment and also in the matter of promotions. It is only an enabling provision. That means the discretion exclusively is given to the government. So if government wants to give reservation, it can give. Or if you don't want to give reservations, then it is okay. And we can't force the government. That is the interpretation given to the constitutional provisions by the Supreme Court. You see the Uttarakhand case judgment which was delivered on February 7th, where the issue of reservations, Uttarakhand government, I will tell you, Uttarakhand government has issued certain proceedings stating that the SCs and STs are not properly represented in various departments of public employment, and also in a higher cadre, there is no proper representation of these people in the higher cadre, and therefore reservations in promotions are also ought to be given, and then issued GOs. But on one GO was issued on the on 5/9/2012. On 5/9/2012, one GO was issued by the Uttarakhand government, subsequent government, I think it's government superseding all the other GOs, providing reservations in the public employment and also in the promotions to the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. And this particular GO stated that the state shall fill up the posts in all public services shall be filled up without providing any reservations to the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. That was the GO issued by Uttarakhand government on 5/9/2012. And the same was challenged before the Uttarakhand High Court. Same was challenged. But when it was challenged, Uttarakhand High Court rightly stated, taking into consideration the earlier decisions of the Supreme Court, into consideration that the state is bound to quantify the data available with it and update the data and see that if after assessment of the data in the public employment, if the state feels that these people are not properly represented in various categories of the public employment in government services, then the government can provide reservations, not only the public employment but also in the reservations in promotions to the senior cadre post. So bypassing those provisions, Uttarakhand state government has issued that GO, and that was challenged. Then that GO was set aside by the Uttarakhand High Court, directing the state government first to assess the data, quantifiable data, collect the quantifiable data with regard to the representation of SCs and STs in all cadres of public employment and also in the superior post. Then it is mandatory on the part of the government to provide reservations. And that judgment was challenged by some certain people. And Supreme Court said that the 16(4) clause 4 of Indian Constitution is only an enabling provision, and it is not required when the state government decided not to provide reservations. The state is not required to collect quantifiable data as well. When the state government is not intended to give reservations, there is no question of any collection of data. And it's only enabling provision, it's not a right, which is very dangerous, having very dangerous consequences on the future employment of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. Both these judgments are a death knell. What I would like to say, put it in a single sentence, it's a death knell to the future employment of SCs and STs. And in fact, I have written to the state government of AP to file a review petition giving grounds. And I am preparing a note also. I will circulate the note in detail to all of you to have a comprehensive idea as to how these two judgments, coupled with earlier judgment in the last 3 or 4 years, how it adversely affected the prospects of our communities. Not only this, I would like to take the opportunity to tell you that recently, within one week back, a socially conscious citizen has filed a bill before the Supreme Court stating that the using of word social distancing has got very bad connotation, and it goes back to the ages where the scheduled castes and scheduled people were kept at a distance by the other sections of the society, and it is a demeaning word, a humiliating word. Please direct the government not to use the word social distancing and instead keep physical distancing in the lockdown period. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court has rejected that plea and imposed a fine of 1 lakh rupees on the applicant. But now, there is a lot of difference between social distance and physical distance. I have written an article on that also. How social distancing is making the Dalits to feel further insulted and humiliated. There are other subjects also. So my humble appeal to all of you is, I will be sending and I will be posting the detailed note on these two judgments and its consequences and how big, because I have been telling my friends since February in Andhra Pradesh. I have contacted so many officers, those who have benefited from the fruits of reservations. Please, you are well placed in the society. Why don't you fight for this? State has no obligation to fight for you unless electorally it is beneficial for them. If it is electorally beneficial for them, they can file an appeal or revision against these judgments. So it is for the enlightened people like us. It is for the enlightened people and the employees who are occupying higher positions by the grace of Baba Saheb Ambedkar, to fight these anomalies and bring to the notice of all the concerned that the anomalies in the judgments which are not in conformity with the constitutional provisions and giving different interpretations. So, as far as the law is concerned, the judgment of the Supreme Court is nothing but law of the land. So, any government cannot go or act beyond the scope of the judgment unless the constitution is amended. We have succeeded. Earlier in the 2018, we have succeeded in amending the constitution. For SC/ST Prevention of Atrocities Act, to overcome the dilution of the act by the Supreme Court judgment with a concerted action throughout India, and almost 23 people of our people they have become martyrs in the movement. And this is another movement which we should start, and particularly it is the responsibility of the employees. It is the responsibility of the people who are in government services, who belong to scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, to study this judgment, how the trend is evaluating, the evolution of the trend. Evolution of the trend by way of legal provisions to deny the benefits of the reservation and slowly to disband or slowly abolish the reservation system. Slowly abolish the reservation system. Have you observed in our northern states how the people are being treated? And the people they are openly professing that caste system should continue. Uttar Pradesh Chief Minister said, caste system should continue. It is like furrow in the field, and it keeps the social fabric of the society as an organized one. Have you seen the furrow in the plowing the field, the lines? So there should be a segregation, the social distancing. And when Chinna J.R. Swami Iyer publicly stated caste system should continue, the people who says that they are progressive minded people and caste system should be abolished, that is a trash. Caste system should continue, and every caste should perform its duties assigned to them by the Shastras. That's what they are publicly declaring. That they have got adulterated because of the present prevailing political atmosphere or the circumstances. And unfortunately, the higher judiciary either becoming mute or in a dormant situation. They are not, the constitution always, you see, the constitution is a progressive document. The constitution is a progressive document, as Baba Saheb Ambedkar said, it works effectively in peace and in war times. But the problem is, the people who implement the constitution, if constitution fails, it is not constitution, if the justice is not done, it is not the fault of the constitution. It is the fault of the people who implement and enforce the constitution. So these are fortunately we have got Baba Saheb Ambedkar philosophy in writing. Otherwise, these people would have taken away the entire thing and said, no, Ambedkar also is, as they said, Buddha is another avatar of Mahavishnu. Buddha another avatar of Mahavishnu? Buddha is a man who decried religion. He is a man who revolted against the Manodharma Shastra. But they want to make him as a god and another avatar. So these are the things which are going on. Friends, I will send the detailed note on these two judgments for your study. And please, it's a very good exercise, because throughout the country, coming together of like-minded people who are really thinking of the interest of our communities, irrespective of the region, irrespective of the language, irrespective of the place, and irrespective of political affiliation. So my appeal to all of you is, go through and be abreast of the latest development. Keep yourself abreast of latest development. What is going on? The constitution is being twisted. The constitutional provisions are being distorted. The institutions are distorted. Now, the last hope for any Indian is the judiciary. And fortunately, we have got here and there a few judges, I should not say being an advocate, a senior advocate, I should not say, but having chosen this profession with great hopes, we are disappointed. We are disappointed the way the higher judiciary is functioning nowadays. So this is time that we should awake. We should awake and arise and know our responsibility as the beneficiaries of Baba Saheb Ambedkar's sacrifice. Let us all get united, and these two judgments are definitely irresistibly in the adverse interest of the SC/ST communities. And I hope yesterday some our local minister was also talking to me, and I said bring this judgment to the notice of the Chief Minister. Already they brought the notice of the Chief Minister, and I hope they are going to file a review petition. A review petition also should be in such a way that it was 2000 GO is 220. So the latest, the population of the local area, scheduled areas, if the other sections of the people including SCs and also OBCs are there, those residential class, the local candidate class should be taken care of by issuing another GO. So these things are there. And Article 15 and 16, please go through the Article 15 and 16, 17, Article 46 of the Constitution, where we are provided with the special 330 reservations in Parliament and 332 in reservations in local bodies. Even we should all take into consideration of all these aspects and try to protect the Constitution, try to protect our rights guaranteed under the Constitution. If we are not coming forward to protect the Constitution, again we are going back to medieval ages. And recently, Central Minister was telling the future education policy will be based on Vedas, Vedic philosophy. Can we imagine at this age of modern age that again new education policy? Anybody have seen the new education policy draft? Please take the new education policy draft. Those people, they wanted to introduce vocational courses in the universities. Vocational courses. Have we did we at any time heard of this thing? They are introducing vocational courses. They are going to introduce vocational courses, not research-oriented courses. Vocational courses mean caste-based courses. So these are the things that are taking shape in the country, and it is high time that we should realize our social responsibility and realize our responsibility to our community, and we should not waste the 70 years of efforts and benefits which Constitution has given to us. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Any